Okay, so happy Friday morning. Apologies, I'm a couple of minutes late from our normal starting time, but I think we're just gonna make a start at this time and take it from there. It is an exciting week for us. We're on our final week of covering new learning material, and the next week is gonna be taking our last set of tests. So this week we've been looking at special senses, and I will mention a couple of words of that, but I really wanted to focus on this online session today on just kind of wrapping up formalities of the semester, making sure that everyone's clear of the timeline that we're working with, and so on. And as always, I do have a little bit of a plan for this session, but we'll adjust the plan as needed. There is also a recording from our Wednesday afternoon session available for you both on YouTube and on our Canvas course, so you can check that out if you are wanting to get more detail about any of the items that I briefly mentioned here today. So as I mentioned, we're approaching the end of the semester. You're almost at the finish line. I really appreciate all the great work that you've been putting in throughout the entire semester. I often hear from students that these online courses, the secret to succeeding on those, but also sometimes what might feel a little heavier is that it is all about consistency. It's all about submitting those works every week. And you all have definitely risen to the occasion. I've been very, very impressed by the quality of the work that I've been receiving. We have had some fantastic conversations on our discussion forum, and the written assignments have really shown your ability to kind of connect the concepts that we've been covering and move them to a new setting. So you're almost at the finish line. Let's finish strong and let's get you that great final grade that you deserve. Thinking of being at the finish line, there is a request that I have for you. Our college is very committed to developing every course, every semester. That is something that we want to constantly keep improving on. We want to do changes that serve our students. So we really want to hear about your experience in this class. And you do have a college email address that you will automatically have been given when you enrolled here. That is your college username at maricopa.edu. And when you log into that email address, you will find an email that's a teacher evaluation for this class. I believe that most of you would have received a first or second reminder of that at this point. So the system will keep sending you reminders until you complete it. So I ask you as a personal favor to me to consider completing that evaluation. So that's an email that's on your student email address. And on that email, you will find at the bottom of it a link. And that link will then throw you to a web form. That web form mainly is questions where you rank items based on your preference. I think it's from 1 to 5, and indicating what things were working well, where we can still keep working a little bit more to make changes so that these courses can be serving our students optimally. There is also a chance to give written feedback as well. I realize everyone's busy at this time. Of course, I appreciate and value all of that written feedback, but if you don't have time for that, at least try to do that grading matrix or that scale grading of various items of this course. It won't take you too long. That evaluation, like I said, is used to develop this course further, but it's also used to assess how I'm doing in my job. So I really do appreciate honest feedback. I really do appreciate chances to see of the things that I should keep doing and maybe ideas for where I can do some changes as well. In order to incentivize my students to do this evaluation, I ask you at the very end of it, you get a confirmation screen. Just grab a screenshot of that, or even if you need to use your mobile phone to grab a picture of that, when you go to our weekly assignments or our learning modules, at the very end there, you'll see also a submission area for end of semester evaluation. If you upload that screenshot, if you upload that picture, or even if you just physically type in that it was this day, approximately at this time when I did the survey, I'll be sure to give you a little bit of extra credit for completing that. I will never know in terms of individual students what you answered. I'm mainly just looking for general trends, general things that come up. So I will receive aggregated data from this survey. So I would really appreciate if you're able to do that. Other thing that I wanted to mention, this week's homework includes 2 items. I'm looking for you to do the quiz on chapter 16. Chapter 16 looks at special senses. So this quiz format on Macro Hills Connect is something that you're already probably very familiar with. And in addition to that, we have simulation of an eye dissection. So even though this is an online course, I want to make sure that you get as many chances to have those authentic experiences in a lab setting, even if it's a virtual lab setting. I think most students really enjoy that eye dissection lab simulation. So you will find that also at the Macro Hills Connect. I have both of those assignments marked to be due at the end of the week, which I believe is December 8th. If my memory serves me right, that's Sunday. It's 1 minute before the midnight on Sunday when I'm asking you to have finished these assignments. On that note, I do realize that some students still want to have assignments reopened or reattempt assignments. I'm totally happy to do that. All I'm asking you to do is to message me and I will then reopen those gladly. But all the work that you want to count towards your final grade, with the exception of exam and practical 3, those are due on Sunday. I also wanted at this point to highlight that next week you'll be completing your exam 3 and practical 3. Next week is a little different from our traditional course since the assignments for next week are actually due on Wednesday, which is December 11th. Again, 1 minute before midnight. So please do not wait until Sunday night for the next week. I need the final pieces of assignments, so exam 3 and practical 3, submitted to me by Wednesday of next week. This week's material, we are looking at special senses. Special senses include touch, which we talked in more detail when we discussed about the integumentary system. In addition, we're looking at these special sensory receptors like vision, taste, smell, hearing, and sense of balance. And I think that the videos that I provided to you on the Canvas course really heavily focus on the vision. I think vision is one of the senses that we greatly rely on, but obviously you'll learn about the other special senses as well as you work through the learning material using the quiz, using the textbook, and so on. So that's the content that we're looking at this week. I did want to take this chance, and I will go through this same material at the beginning of the next week, but because next week is such a short week, because all of the assignments need to be submitted by Wednesday, including the exam and practical 3, they need to be submitted by Wednesday next week. I wanted to go through what to expect in terms of exam 3 and practical 3. Exam 3 covers chapters 12, 14, 13, and 15. So basically all of the material of the nervous system. We'll start with the chapter on introduction to nervous system. We'll look at the material from central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and autonomic nervous system. Your exam 3 consists of 22 questions. If you want to think, how could I prepare for it? I really encourage you to study those chapter quizzes. That's probably the best place to start. This is a timed exam, so you have 60 minutes to complete this, and they add up the 100 points towards your final grade. Once you have started the exam, you do have to complete it in a single setting. So that's the plan for the exam tree. Practical tree is very similar. We're covering the same chapters. You have 15 questions. They're mainly visual. They're mainly looking at anatomy. You have 30 minutes to complete those, and those add up as 50 points towards your final grade. Again, a single setting assignment. I'm asking you to complete it in one go once you start. I provided some example questions there on the screen earlier and now of what you might kind of anticipate, what kind of those questions might be. And just as a reminder from what I said earlier on, if you do complete that end of semester teacher evaluation, course evaluation survey, make sure that you let me know that you've done so by uploading that confirmation to the end of semester feedback assignment area. That would be greatly appreciated. What's going to happen next week is really I'm going to finalize your grades. You will receive an individual message from me with your final grade, and then I will be submitting those grades to the registry. It is so important that you at this point start looking at your grade book if you haven't already, making sure that the grades that you have there recorded look correct. Mistakes sometimes happen. Technology doesn't always work perfectly when moving grades from McGraw-Hill to Canvas and so on. So we want to catch those as early as possible and get them rectified. Once I have finished your grades, you will receive an announcement. You'll receive also a message on Canvas and via email telling that, hey, this is your grade. Let me know if you have concerns about it. And the turnaround time for letting me know about that is rather short. I believe that I normally aim for about 24 hours. So keep an eye on that email. You do not want to be reaching out to me way after that due date has passed of letting me know if you have concerns, because really doing those changes at that time is no longer possible. So I am here to address, discuss, figure out anything that you might be wondering about. Just make sure that you let me know. And really, I think that brings us to the end of our session today. The final thing that I want to say, we will see still next week. I will do a live online session probably on Monday as the first thing, but it definitely has been my pleasure working with you this semester, and I appreciate each one of you for your wonderful work. And let's finish off strong. Let's get you that great final grade that you deserve. And thank you again for being part of this class. Until next session, I'll see you then.